hire someone who has already done what you're hiring them to do, which I think is like such a simple and brilliant thing. You can boil down a lot of hiring advice to that. And
Well,
if you
think
do that successfully, the rest kind of takes care of itself.
people always come to me and they're like, "Oh, should I learn to code?" And I'm like, "Well, do you have a passion for coding? Have you always been obsessed with like math and logic and all this kind of stuff?" And often they say, "No, I don't think that's what I want to do long term, but I want to be a tech CEO." And I always think like real estate developers don't know what stonemasons do. They don't know how to pour concrete. They don't know how to hammer two by fours. They know what the high level thing they're trying to achieve is, and then they hire component people within that to achieve their goal. And I think the same is true. Like you could spend 2 years reading up on sales, or you could hire a really pro salesperson, right? And let them build that sales process. I think that makes a lot more sense. And if you put me into any part of my business, almost any of the business except for maybe hardcore engineering, I could probably muddle my way through and do fine. And I know what it looks like now, but I had a lot of success with just hiring smart people who had done it before.
Were you surprised at the caliber of people that you could hire from larger agencies to come work with you?
It's kind of chicken or the egg because when I started hiring really exceptional people, I also had a profile by that point. A, I could afford to pay them, and B, I had a reputation. In the early days, I just hired all my friends. I'd hire friends, I'd hire girlfriends and boyfriends of friends and extended network or random kids that I met who interned with us. It was just a disaster because a very small percentage of them worked out. I was really bad at firing people. So I would just keep all these people who didn't know what they're doing. And we were collectively like a kids soccer team where there's just a big circle of kids running around a ball and total chaos.
It's very Canadian of you. Yes. It's more polite to just pay them even though they're doing a bad job. We'll just keep on with
Exactly.
that.
I think it took me probably 5 or 6 years of running my company before I personally fired anyone. I was avoiding it that much.
It is hard and it's scary and it's guilt inducing. And I think a lot of leaders say it's my fault. Like I couldn't make this person successful in this role. Now they're having to suffer because we couldn't create the context. I failed to set expectations correctly somehow.
It's like ending a bad romantic relationship. Like, you both feel it. You
Yeah.
know it's not working out. It's more humane to just be really empathetic and talk about what's happening.
I think lowering the fear of firing somebody can make it easier to hire them in the first place, right? Like I think that big fear is like, well, what if it doesn't work out is what prevents us from delegating in the first place.